Hello, everyone. I think I see that people are still connecting. Welcome to today's session, Digital Onboarding for Banking and Financial Services. Thank you very much for taking time out and hanging here today with me. I know how agendas are nowadays, so I really appreciate it. Well, my name is Lenda Espinosa, and I'm the International Business Development Manager at Tecalis. Let me introduce myself. I've been in the business of trust services for the last years of my journey, but I come from the IT world, IT processes, continuous improvement, digital transformation, and so on. But let me tell you something different, something personal about myself. Um, this is going to sound really shocking, so prepare yourself. Here I go. I love to shop. Yes, I know, I'm a woman and I love shopping. What a cliche, right? But in my case, it's true. I love shopping. But even more, I love online shopping. And I've been doing it for like, I don't know, 10 years. And in my household, everything it's bought online. And we become one of those people that we expect that same experience from buying on Amazon as we do from our insurance company, electricity, and from my bank. So I want to make it fast, easy, click here, click there, and we got what we want. So if this sounds familiar, then you're in the right place because this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about user experience, customer expectations. Mines are really high, and online channels. But before we get started and jump into matters, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to have a live Q&A session at the end. So drop any questions, concerns, or comments on the right box of your screen. And if you miss anything, don't worry about it. This is a live recorded session. We're going to have an on-demand available. And so grab a cup of coffee, water, tea, or whatever. And I'll promise to try to keep it short, straight to the point. Let's see what we got. Today, things to discuss. Well, meeting customer expectations. I already told you mine are really high. The onboarding challenge, because we're talking about financial industry, how to exceed this customer expectation, the road to customer acquisition, and a demo, and as I said before, a quick Q&A. So let's get into matters. Let's start with digital onboarding for banking and financial services. And yes, I bring COVID-19 as a topic. I know we had enough of the pandemic and topics about it, but allow me because I don't think we can discuss digital onboarding without acknowledging that COVID-19 has been an accelerator pedal in so many ways. There's no question that the way we work has fundamentally changed due to COVID-19 pandemic. So I'll bring you two perspectives. From the company side, from the financial industry side, what's been going on, and from the customer's perspective. And to start, I bring you digital transformation as a must. I myself worked for a bank like 3 years or so, and after that, the financial industry became my customer, my recurrent customer for a long time. And I'll think you will all agree when I say that digital initiative and IT projects in the financial industry are often stalled without the right commitment from the top of the house. COVID-19 has generated support from the leaders by highlighting the need for digital transformation as a means to reach new customers and resilience. I think sometime during the summer, yes, I read a McKinsey global survey that companies in the financial industry have accelerated the digitalization of their customer interactions by 3 to 4 years. Okay, not so much. Additionally, the share of digital or digital-enabled products in their portfolio has accelerated by 7 years. This is quite impressive, especially in the financial industry, in my experience. So we're talking about the need to deliver agility and innovation strategies to cover the technology tipping point and transform business forever. There's no way back. All the changes made as a consequence from COVID-19, again, there's no way back. They're here to stay. They're long lasting. In fact, I know for sure that the financial industry are making the kind of investments nowadays to make sure that these changes stay, that they stick. But what's been happening to the other side, to customers? Well, during the pandemic, consumers have moved dramatically toward online channels, which is not my case because as I said before, I've been doing online shopping for, I don't know, 10 years or so. But companies and industry have to respond in return, and therefore customers have increased their confidence in technology channels, which I think it's great. I mean, it's not late, but it should have been a long time ago. But they now trust their online channels. But of course, with trust and confidence, what we have, new customer needs and demands. I will tell you something a little bit more about my online shopping. I expect, and it's actually a fact, a reality, that from my favorite online shops, every couple of months or so, they have a new feature, a new capability that keeps me ongoing. So financial industry needs to deliver fast, new capability to customers. So then we're talking about customers and their needs and demands, but let's be serious and talk numbers about their expectation, not mine, because you can see I told you they're pretty high, but let's see numbers about the rest of the people, right? It's no secret millions of consumers open new accounts every day. According to a Deloitte survey, for more than 3,000 consumers who opened a bank account recently, 38% of customers consider user experience as the most important factor when choosing a bank. So that means 38% of customers have as their priority the perception of utility, how easy it is to use, efficiency to open an account. But before we jump into more numbers, Deloitte also found out some other interesting information, such as the vast majority of customers are aware of regulations related to the account opening process and also believe that they are in their benefit, which is so, again, great news because now customers know that regulations are for their protections as well. However, and perhaps more importantly, a meaningful share want the account opening experience to be improved. And let's pinpoint that for later. Let's pinpoint that to get into it later on the presentation because this is really important. But let's take us to our next number from Pence. 78% of millennials and 83% of Generation Z consumers are frustrated with current bank account processes. Yeah, and 69% of Generation X and 57% of baby boomers are reporting similar feelings of dissatisfaction. So not so great news, right? And let's be honest, over time, the growing demand will become the determining factor of where younger consumers will seek their financial services. And the cherry on top, we have from Pepper that 48% of customers think that traditional banks are at least 3 years behind their fintech rivals. So with these numbers, no need to be a genius here, right? I think customers are begging for a better onboarding process in general. And that leads us to the next side of the slide. What's going on with banks? What numbers do we have there? Well, to summarize, as you see in the presentation, that's what indeed is happening. A lot of onboarding processes are being abandoned due to boredom, inefficiency, time consuming, and so on and so on. And at last, making banks lose business opportunity, making banks lose potential customers. Yeah, not so, it's not a good picture. But wait, let's see. So if we want a better account opening experience, let's see who exactly wants that. As I said at the beginning, financial industry are using digital transformation and as a means to reach new customers and resilience. So account opening experience can be vital for banks to remain competitive and to ensure loyalty. And as we pinpointed before, remember, a minimum share want the opening account experience to be improved, as you can see on the slide. The survey shows that typical consumers who want the improvements are more likely to be millennials, and that they are especially have higher expectations when interfacing with banks through digital channels. But now we know who. But what exactly a better account opening experience means? Well, the most fundamental attribute of an exceptional account open is, guess what? Speed. Yes, that's right. The faster an account is open, the less likely the customers abandon the process, as I said before. Remember, I told you I want my banking services to be like click here, click there, and then I got what I want. Well, it's a speed what I'm talking about. It's to make things go faster. Consumers demand that banks use their existing information not to only speed the process up, but also to cross-sell relevant products to them. That's interesting because it's kind of the feeling that you know your customer and what's best for she or he. For example, back to my online shopping. I expect that from my shops, they know already from my last or previous online shopping what to recommend. It's the same thing. We're comparing buying products, purchasing with servicing. But also, banks need to give consumer clear and concise instructions during the account opening process and follow up with them to inquire whether they have questions or even if they're satisfied with their accounts and so on, so on. So it's about an interaction with your customers. Thanks to widespread adoption of instant digital ecosystem, consumers expect immediate satisfaction. I think I made myself pretty clear. I want my servicing to be as fast as ordering an Uber, for example. Yeah, that's right. I think it's simple, but it's true because customers demand convenient end-to-end purchasing or services in real time, accessible from anywhere, at any time. Without even realizing it, they become to expect the same experiences from banking services and products as well. So, not surprisingly, in the slide before, it was stated that 40% of consumers abandon onboarding processes when opening a new bank account. In fact, customer experience is so important that customers are willing to switch banks just to get it. Clearly, if banks can deliver a fast and seamless onboarding experience, and in particular, a mobile one, customers will try another financial service provider. So what's the challenge? Banks and financial institutions must aim to exceed customer expectations by leveraging the right technology. Sounds simple enough, right? Okay, so we've been talking about it for a couple of minutes here, but what is it exactly, customer onboarding? Let's make a pause. Let's take a moment and let's play Jenga in our minds. I think we all play Jenga at least once. So bear with me with this example. Imagine the tower to be the relationship with your customer, and it's a little bit, going north and south there, right? The next block is the user experience. But pay attention, you have to make your move fast, but not too fast that you might compromise valuable information, smoothly, nimble, and last but not least, effective. If not, it all falls down. I brought you this example because I think we all know what customer onboarding is, but I see you agree. I see some raising hands. But let's try to define it, and most importantly, to summarize its relevance, okay? What defines customer onboarding the best is all activities involved in introducing a new customer to your company, product, or service. It's about teaching the new client how to get the most out of you, okay? Customer onboarding is the first stage of the customer journey once they began using a product or a service. This stage of the customer journey often defines the relationship with a product or a brand. It is vital to make this experience as positive as possible. It's kind of your first day. Things can go wrong because then you won't get a second. Well, it comes right at the start of their journey. It sets up the tone for their whole relationship with your product or company. It makes sure you have a second date. The onboarding process then is the official beginning of a direct and consensual relationship with an individual as a registered user or official client. So, a positive onboarding experience confirms to your customer that they make the right choice. It also ultimately helps you retain them. We talked previously about resilience, about loyalty. It's about that. Well, jumping into our next slide, from traditional onboarding to digital onboarding, I think that's pretty clear. I said before that customers need to perceive that you know them and use that information, whether to cross-sell or make things go faster. But also to know your customer is in benefit to financial industry. So let's talk about the know your customer approach. But what exactly is to know your customer? Well, I think you know what it is, but do you really know your customer? At any rate, at any point you added to. If you're a financial institution, you could face possible fines, sanctions, and reputational damage if you do business with, let's say, a money laundering. And I think this is not something new for you guys. But most importantly, KYC, know your customer, is a fundamental practice to protect your organization from fraud and losses resulting from illegal funds and transactions. It is a standard due diligence process to assess and monitor customer risk and verify customers' identity. It ensures that a customer is who they say they are. This is really important. It's like the guy shows up at the date we were talking about, and it's not like the picture he said. So you have to make sure the customer is who they say they are. So customer identification is the most critical aspect, as it is the first step to better perform in other stages of the process. So the KYC procedures are critical function to assess legal requirement to comply with anti-money laundering laws, AML. Effective KYC involve knowing a customer's identity, their financial activities, and the risk they pose. The difference between one another, AML and KYC, is that AML refers to the framework of legislation and regulation that financial institutions must follow to prevent money laundering, obviously. KYC is specific and relates to verifying customers' identity, which is a key part of the overall AML framework. I think it will be the first step in the framework. So, but what are the common challenges during the onboarding process? I think I already mentioned a few. The most shocking one is the rates that we have of abandonment on an onboarding process due to time consuming and so on and so on. But we have other like personality. Remember the lack of personalization, the feeling that you don't know your customer, safety, security, friction, and so on and so on. But one of the biggest challenges is creating the onboarding experience that consumers expect. And we're pretty demanding. And to meet the anti-money laundering and the know your customer regulations as well. Because financial industry must complete intensive checks for money laundering and fraud before they agree to handle my money. So these checks are time consuming. So to help meet your KYC obligations, you need an identity verification solution that can deliver both convenience to your customer and protection for your business, which is the ongoing challenge for the financial industry. And I will say is the challenge. But how to exceed, let's not say to lever, but how to exceed customer expectations. Again, I already mentioned a few. Let's try to review the most important ones. Well, improve digital and customer experience, pretty clear, fast and easy to use. Remember, click here, click there, and I got what I want. Make sure to make it omni-channel. I mean, available anywhere, anytime. Please, paperless. I mean, we're talking about customer onboarding. Please, this is a must for me. And of course, don't forget the regulatory compliance. In my opinion, with the right technology and best practices, it is easy to both satisfy regulatory demands and the convenience demands of the customer without compromising on either, which is the important thing here, right? So the road to customer acquisition, that's how our experience comes into play. We're not storytellers, even though I've been talking here by myself a few minutes now. So allow me to show you how we took all of this information and even more, setting up the perfect balance between financial industry needs and customer expectation into our products, not leaving aside complying with regulations, information security, data protection, legal compliance. It was quite a challenge, but we're convinced we are in the right track. So we're going to give you a really quick demo of how we do it. I'm going to play a video for you guys so we can make it go a little bit faster.
If you are using a passport, scan the datasheet. Now scan the front of your ID. Please place your face in the indicated area. Remember not to wear glasses. One, to perform the check, you must smile and hold the smile for a few seconds until we tell you to stop. Thank you. That is enough.
Great. Well, this was the video. So this is how we roll, okay? But allow me to take a deeper look into what just happened. We just use a web platform for this demo. So there's no need for app installation or integration process, and it's available right away. That doesn't mean that we cannot integrate in whatever platform our customer needs. So I don't know, let's say a website, for example. It's just that this is another possibility. As you can see, we take very seriously the user experience, that speed that is expected from this kind of services. We hadn't made it our main priority. And also to make it fast, user-friendly, easy to use, and so on and so on. Actually, let me do a parenthesis here. We have a customer who has an onboarding process in the telecommunication industry to activate SIM cards and signing up the documentation related to the process. And they have customers from all ages. I mean, from teenagers to people from 19 years old. And these people are using this process to get their SIM cards because it's easy, it's fast, they have all the indications of what to do, and they're really, really satisfied with the process. So as you notice, and as I said before, we have verbalized steps. We use machine learning in order to help the customers into what's needed from him. We take different pictures from the presented document, kind of what Face ID from Apple or the fingerprint from Android does. The advantage and the difference from other providers is that we check in the moment that the documentation obtained is valid. And there's no need to wait for a later email saying we need to repeat the process, we didn't get your documentation right, or whatever. We match the selfie with the picture from the document and do a proof of life. That's why we have to smile there. All of this has just happened and even more. Then we finish this example with an advanced signature, because normally in an onboarding process, there's documentation to be signed, right? As well, you may ask your customer for additional documentation. I don't know, let's say a receipt, for example. And last but not least, we have an evidential document from the KYC and the signature, which is immutable proof of what just happened. So I could be here on and on and on with functionalities and advantage from Tecalis, but it's not our goal today. But bear with me, I could not finish without showing you how we took all of what's happening and all what we review, what customers tell us and what customer expects, and put it into our product in order to reduce costs, avoid risk and fraud, enable regulatory compliance with the best, I may say, user experience. So here are my contact info, and let's take a look into what you guys have asked or comment in the box. Allow me a few seconds here. Let me see. This one is interesting. What would you say are the key components of the onboarding process? Well, this is hard to put just a few, but I'll try it. Well, first of all, compliance, right? With all regulations. That's why I think it's crucial for the process to have a trust service provider who can and must guarantee this. Then I will repeat myself, but KYC to secure identification. Standardize your data retrieval. Extracting data and information from your customer is really time consuming. So use this information, okay, to get faster into the process. Security, really important. Consumers are every day more concerned about data protection and data security. And I also will recommend digitally only. I mean, I said before, paperless, please. Don't ask your customers for paper signatures. I mean, this could take like 5 days to do, longer than acquiring an electronic signature, so paperless, digital only. And don't forget to make it omni-channel, available anytime, anywhere. Well, I think I can mention a few more, but this is pretty much the basics, okay? I will jump into the next one. I got a few. This is great. I like it. What parts of the onboarding process can be automated? Oh, this one I really like, and I'm gonna keep it short because I will say, with the right technology, following best practices, and with the perfect enabler, all of it, from A to Z, all of it. That's why I'm really, really proud to be a part of a company that shares this vision. This is my answer. What else we have here? I already have a solution integrated in our portal, but to be honest, the implementation time was longer than expected. How is your experience? Wow, this one is really good. I perfectly understand your question. And from the way you formulated, and I don't know, I can sense the tone. I think you suffered during the implementation process. What I can surely guarantee is that the integration with our KYC solution is very simple and consists of only changing to the new endpoint, pretty easy and totally worth it. When it's from scratch, we're really, really fast. We have a great rate, but when you are already integrated, it's just a matter of changing an endpoint. So we're really easy and totally worth it, I might add. What else do we have? We live in a fast-changing environment. How likely would it be to adapt or customize this technology to the requirements of the next 2 or 3 years? Whoa. Well, it's true, indeed. Technology changes fast, and in this case, regulations as well. So actually, I know as we speak, there are taking place efforts to create standards and regulations for bio-identification. We also know that the way individuals use to identify themselves nowadays is through a tangible document, and that sooner or later it will be a digital way. So our solution is carefully paying attention, listening to these changes and working on it. We are already prepared for these changes and the ones to come, because we're really, really paying attention. And that's what we have to do. Because as you said, and I'm taking your word, technology changes fast, but also regulations. So without further ado, I want to thank you all for taking time out and hanging here with me. I leave you with my picture and my boxes from my online shopping. I'm a shopaholic, and please keep in touch. Don't hesitate if you want to discuss something, to go into deep into whatever topic that we mentioned, or if you need an online shop recommendation, you know where to find me. Really appreciate it. Till next time, hope to see you all soon and have a great day. Thank you very much.